Hello traders, in this video we are gonna look at something a little bit different, and that is failed challenges and verifications. So once again, hello traders, I am Simon from FTMO, and if you are new here, what we are doing is that we are funding traders that are able to pass our evaluation process. And what we are doing right here, right now, is that we are looking at unsuccessful challenges. So that's quite a difference from usual content, but the last time we have did this kind of video, it was quite successful and you guys liked it. So without further ado, let's look at these unsuccessful challenges. This first one is for $100,000. Unfortunately, this challenge lasted just for 2 days. So that means that this challenge lasted just for 2 days and then it was failed. The reason why this challenge failed is either max daily loss or max loss. I don't know, unfortunately, which one was failed first. In the graph, you can see two huge dips. So that's quite unfortunate. Probably this dip right here wasn't too great on the trader's psychology, and probably it was just downhill from there. The trader couldn't really get from this loss, and yeah, basically failed because of that, most likely. I think this is the reason why many traders consider psychology more important than strategy. Of course, strategy is important, but if you are not able to handle the stress, it's not gonna go well. So it is my assumption that at this point, this trader got sort of demotivated and maybe he tried to risk even more to regain the profits. But unfortunately that didn't go too well for him or her. So yeah, this challenge just lasted 2 days. Max daily loss and max loss were exceeded. And I mean, just you don't really have to risk as much when you are trading just for 2 days. This is absolutely unnecessary. You can just take it easy, take it slow. You have full 30 days to complete your challenge. So really this shouldn't be happening 2 days in. All the data that we see are 69 trades, so that's quite a lot for just 2 days, and 211 lots were opened. And as you can see, those were opened just in these 2 days, and that's a huge volume. I think personally that this is way too much, and maybe the trader should decrease the volume, maybe decrease the amount of trades, and stick to his or her strategy. I just really want to emphasize this point. You really don't have to open this high volume and that many trades when you are just 2 days in your challenge, and that can just result in loss of your money, and that's just totally unnecessary. Additionally, on the last page of the trading journal, we cannot see any stop losses here, so that can be additional reason why this challenge failed. And the most losses were executed via selling and on this US 30 index. Okay, so this is it for this account. I think personally that this was psychology issue, but also the volumes and the number of trades was just way too high. This one is a whole lot different in that most of the time this trader was in a loss, unfortunately. I mean, at this point it was really bad. And what I assume from this graph is that basically when the trader was at this point, he or she decided to open really high volume, which resulted in exceeding of max loss. Because as you know, we count not only the closed positions, but also the open ones. So while in the end this trader did get the profits in, it was still quite huge risk. And basically the open profits and losses were not in favor of this trader at some point. So if the max loss trading objective wasn't in place and this trade didn't go to this direction and it would go all the way down, this would be a huge loss for the company. Of course, that is why this trading objective is in place. So yes, as far as I can see, the reason why this challenge failed is the huge volume that was opened at this point. So let's see. Otherwise, this trader opened 92 trades using 181 lots. And on most days, there wasn't anything crazy going on. It was pretty standard trading as far as I can see, but on the last day there is just a huge profit. But unfortunately it was also at this point that this trader probably exceeded the loss limits. We can even see that this trader is using stop losses and sometimes even take profits. So it's not like this trader doesn't have his or her risk management in place. There are still quite nice profits on buying, not as much on selling. And most of the profits are made on Bitcoin. So that actually explains a lot because, cryptocurrencies are quite volatile. And that also explains why just 4 lots were enough to exceed the loss limits. So unfortunately, as far as I can see, the trader was mostly losing with his or her strategy, and on the last day he or she decided to go just balls to the walls with volume. And because this trader was most of the time in a loss, I assume, of course I don't know this, but maybe this strategy could be back tested a little more, and after that this trader can come and try the challenge one more time. So just keep in mind that if you don't know if the strategy that you are using is profitable in the long run, definitely test it before you start the challenge, because of course you don't want to lose your money. It is absolutely unnecessary. So yeah, and I actually think that this applies for all traders. If you are not sure if your particular strategy is profitable in the long run, definitely test it before applying it on the challenge. After all, it costs some money to start the challenge, so it's totally unnecessary to lose the money because you didn't test the strategy. Alright, so this is another one. Once again, you can see that most of the time, or rather all the time, well, except for the $13 or $12, this trader was in a loss. And the reason why this challenge failed is because of max loss violation. That is very unfortunate because this trader did trade for those 12 trading days. We don't really know how big of a volume did this trader open yet, but only 26 trades. Alright, so now when we scroll down, actually, you can see that number of trades is 26, but the volume is super huge. And when I say that it's super huge, it's quite huge for me. If your strategy is based on trading huge volumes, I mean, why not? But also it means that it's quite risky. So while average risk reward ratio is quite high, the win rate is really not. And basically all days except for this one ended up in a loss. So that is one additional factor that doesn't really help the trader's psychology, so that's unfortunate. And yes, pretty much most of the time this trader is opening 10 lots of various forex pairs. And even though he or she is using stop losses, I think this is just too huge volume for this trader. So once again, this might be an issue of strategy, not really of trader's psychology exactly, or anything other really. Now usually down here I tell you guys which specific instrument should the trader avoid, but in this case no instrument is really profitable, so I truly think that this is once more an issue of strategy, not really of specific instrument or circumstances or anything like that. But clearly there is a certain pattern, and that is that this trader is doing well on those positions that used less volume rather than straight out 10 lots. So this trader should definitely decrease the volume as far as I can see, and perhaps the results can improve. And I will say this one more time: if you are not sure if your strategy is working in the long run, definitely test it in a demo account or a free trial or something like that. Because once again, it's unnecessary to lose money on a real challenge. We have included this account because this sometimes unfortunately happens, and we don't really like to see this because this trader traded just for one trading day, and already this trader exceeded max daily loss, max loss. The profit target is disastrous. And you see, the challenge is supposed to test your strategy and your trading overall. And if you are just risking it all on just one or two big trades, it's not really what the trading period was designed for. And after all, you do have those 30 trading days, so you can use them to the fullest. You don't have to rush and complete the profit target on the first day. That's totally unnecessary. And yes, that is exactly what happened. You can see that first two trades actually went in the favor of trader, but then basically the second trading day was really bad. We don't really have to consider statistics because these numbers are kind of skewed. I don't really think that any particular strategy was used here, because basically this trader is betting it all on just very few trades. In this case, definitely don't depend on a few trades. You have full 30-day trading period, so use it to your fullest. Because clearly you can see that right here there is a loss of almost entire account. This account is very similar to the last one, but there are two differences. This is for euros and not dollars, and in this case this trader traded for 2 trading days. And while this trader didn't exactly lose entirety of the account like the last one, or next to entirety of the account, this is still a huge loss of minus 17,000 euros. And that means that max daily loss and max loss were exceeded, unfortunately. And this trader actually was for a brief moment in a profit, but from the trade number 4, it was just downhill from there. Additionally, you can see that this trader executed just 9 trades. So that is once again not something from which we can gather some statistics that really tell us something significant. So once again, these statistics are a little bit skewed. We cannot really take anything from them. And regarding the daily summary, there is just 1 day recorded with a loss of minus 15,000 euros. Now, if you are wondering why this result is a little different from this result, of course, it is because these limits calculate not only your closed losses, but your open losses as well. And this is really important for you to understand. Max daily loss and max loss are counted not only from closed positions, but also from open ones. If you are not sure how it works, definitely click on this, and the max daily loss and even max loss are explained in these videos. When we look at what this trader has traded, it's gold. Interestingly enough, this trader used stop losses on the first 3 trades. From the trade number 3, this trader was in a slight profit, and from that point on, he or she decided not to use any stop loss. So as I understand it, when this trader was in a slight profit, he or she decided not to use any stop losses. So perhaps this might be the reason why this account has failed. This is the last account that we are gonna look at for now. This account is for $100,000, and the graph actually looks quite nice until this point. Here it was at profit of almost $7,000, so that's quite nice. And at this point, I think that this trader wasn't patient anymore, and the trading period apparently was coming to an end. So he or she decided to risk a little bit more. So yeah, this trader used 21 trading days, which is more than average. And after that, there was violation of both max daily loss and max loss. Now, when we look down here, this trader executed 101 trades using 352 lots. So that's pretty average, pretty standard. This is actually 3.5 lots per position. So this might be a little bit on the higher side, but definitely not anything crazy. The average risk reward ratio is 0.41 and the win rate is under 50%. So these numbers can be a little bit skewed because this trader could decide to risk a little more from this point on. So I am really wondering what would the statistics look like until the number trade 81. But unfortunately, we don't really know that. All we know is that the trading period went quite alright, nothing really unusual, no huge volume, but until the end where there were 2 huge losses. Now, of course, you can say that 5 trades and 8.5 lots, that is not too much, but this depends, of course. If this is index or Bitcoin, it can be a lot actually. And that is actually correct. Those huge losses were executed on indices. The only instance on the last page of the trading journal where this trader uses stop losses are these 2 positions, otherwise just take profit. And down here we can see clearly that perhaps this trader shouldn't really trade as much indices as other stuff. Additionally, you can see that this trader is trading many instruments, so maybe it could be better to focus on like 1, 2, maybe 3 or up to 5 instruments and really specialize. And this is really unfortunate because it was at this point where this trader could decide to stop trading. And you already know that if you do not violate max daily loss, you do not violate max loss, you do reach minimum 10 trading days and you at least get some profit in, you are eligible for free repeat of the challenge. So if you are doing okay, you are taking it slow, you have not violated any trading objective, and you are at least somewhat profitable, it's better to just finish your training period and apply for free repeat of the challenge. At the end of the day, it is definitely better to trade safely rather than risk it all, because you can still apply for that free repeat of the challenge, and that way you don't exactly lose your initial fee for the challenge. And with that, this is the end of the video. I hope that you traders have at least learned or taken something out of it. These are some of the mistakes that should be avoided, so definitely keep that in mind next time you are sitting behind your trading platform. Let us know what you think about this video down in the comment section. Subscribe to our FTMO YouTube channel and follow FTMO on all social media. And as always, trade safe.